What is up, everybody? Renfail here. Hopefully you are doing well. We are back with more Hell Is Us, and today it's time for the initial review of the game because I have crossed the 20 hours played mark. And if you're not familiar with my process, we start off with an early thoughts video, which I've already done right after the first stream. That was about 2 hours into the game. And now that we've crossed the 20-hour mark, it's time for this one. And then whenever we're finished with the game, we'll do a final review. It's There's a lot to take in with this game. It's way more than I thought it was when I first started. So it's billed as a third-party action adventure game, and I think that's true. It's definitely an investigation game. I would argue that even though there is quite a bit of action combat, probably like 80% of my gameplay has been pursuing investigations and solving puzzles. Like the puzzle crafting in this game, I made a separate video about the puzzle crafting because I feel that it's so well done in this game. Recently, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was another game that I praised for having really good puzzle design. This is up there with that, and the world building teams and the writing teams, full credit to them for having created these, zone spawning puzzles, because the cool thing about the way this game works is that, obviously there's no mini map. So everything's based on you paying attention to clues. And the crazy thing about some of these puzzles is that they can't be completed by just exploring one zone. Like, you actually need to go to different areas, different regions, and find things from those areas to, like, bring back to use to unlock doors, or to find these emblems or seals that you're going to use to unlock different things. And then, of course, the good deeds, which are like the side quests of the game, where you're going to find so many NPCs that want you to do something for them. It might be something like finding a telescopic lens for their camera, or finding a bottle of medication to help with their diabetes. There's lots of different side quests in the terms of the good deeds. And then, of course, the good deeds, you might not be able to complete them all, and if you don't complete them, they can have some pretty interesting, and I would say very sad in some cases, resolutions. And that's something that I think is very important about this game as well, because even though it's definitely a science fiction, speculative fiction, suspenseful game at its core. It's not horror. I would not call this a horror game. It's a suspense game. The story is very much wrapped up in Civil War, and I would say this is reminiscent of all the horrible stuff that happened across Eastern Europe. It's reflected in what's going on today in that part of the world. There are some things in this game where you're going to have a strong stomach to deal with the atrocities of war. You're going to come across war crimes. You're going to come across some really nasty stuff being done on both sides of the fence, because there are two different parties that are fighting this civil war. And as you go across the regions of this game, you're basically unlocking their complicated history going back centuries, and these crazy religions that govern it all. And then, of course, behind it, which, as we can see behind me, we've got these creatures that people refer to as demons, which they're not really demons per se, but they are creatures of otherworldly manifestation. And so, yeah, there's a whole lot to take in. So it's been a wild ride so far. One thing I can say I've really enjoyed as we've gotten deeper into the game. Before I open that all the way, well, no, we're good. So obviously we've already covered the investigation things before. We've talked about that in the first video. This is what I really want to talk about, because this is way more complex. I actually did a full video on this yesterday on the weapons system and the gear system, because we had somebody hop into the stream last night and wanted to know a little bit more about it, and it was complex enough that I was like, I'm going to spin out a whole video on this, because this is pretty brilliant. So I will, I want to give them credit for a really interesting combat system, because at the core of this, you've got the weapons themselves, and there are lots of different types of weapons. But like, if we go through here and look at like these swords, they're just at their basic level, they're just swords. There's levels and grades. So as an example, my axes are level 19, grade 5. I love the axes. I stick to the axes. Those are my primary weapons. I don't really use anything outside of that. But there are lots of different types of weapons. They have different stats, as we can see. They do different things for guard and agility and attack, different combo hit damage. So we have swords, we have a short sword, we have pole arms, we have great swords. Um, all of these do different things, and the really crazy thing is not only can you level them up and grade them, you can also attach glyphs to them. So the the glyph system, and again, you should really go watch the other video to fully understand this because I'm only going to briefly touch on it here. Um, Essentially, every weapon, when it starts out, is a neutral weapon, as we can see here. It says neutral. It's limbic sphere. It's a neutral weapon. Now, this is a rage weapon, and then like this is also a rage weapon, and then over here, this is a grief weapon. So there are emotions in this game. The emotions are tied to the types of damage that you do. So there's rage, ecstasy, grief, woe, and then I think neutral. Um, and the glyphs that you find are special abilities. So, as an example, my axe has on it a neutral ability that allows me to heal myself, a lance. It's like a fireball that I can shoot out and it blows up and it does AoE damage. And then I have like a get over here lasso that I can use to pull somebody and it stuns them, and then I can attack them when they're up close. Um, Really cool stuff. I can only use these rage glyphs on a weapon that has been tuned to the rage sphere of emotions. And I can only do that via the crafter back in town, who I hadn't discovered in the first video. So I've discovered him since then, but the blacksmith. When you find a neutral weapon, you take it to him and you tell him what type of weapon you want it to be. A grief weapon. So you're attuning it to a specific emotion type. And then you can take the glyphs associated with a given emotion and attach those glyphs to a weapon and give the weapon a variety of abilities. Neutral glyphs can be assigned to any weapon, but otherwise, all the other ones have to be attuned to something that matches its set. So the leveling system of the weapons, the grading system of the weapons, the glyph system of the weapons, super complex. There's also that ties into the ability to there's different types of defensive gear tied to the emotions. There's relics which do different things, and then there are also these like buffs, which we can get into the inventory here and look at. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. These by the way, these are all related to like investigations, so like notes, everything. By the way, this is the first game in a long time I've been taking lots of phone pictures with my phone because of all the and taking lots of notes. It's a pretty intense puzzle solving in game in terms of mysteries. But where are they at over here? I'm not seeing. Oh, well, look at these things right here. So these are like consumables which allow you to have temporary reduction of damage from certain emotions, and all the different enemies in the game have different types of emotions. So like as an example, we can see that those guys down by the entrance to that church or whatever have like a glue blow about them. You might not be able to see it on the video, but I can see it from here. That's grief. So they are grief enemies. And they will do different things. They'll have grief-related abilities. They will also summon grief demons, which do different things depending on the rank of the enemy. And if you want to reduce the damage from those types of enemies, you'll want to use a damage reduction against grief. So there's some complexity to combat, which is pretty cool. The combat system itself it's your standard light attack, heavy attack, parry or dodge, and then there's like a perfect parry. It's the same system we've seen in a ton of action games. I would liken this to like God of War in that regard, especially the way you can level up your weapons. And then we have your drone, and the drone itself also has all of these abilities, of which you can slot, and they have different ranks as well. So not only do the glyphs have ranks, your drone abilities have ranks. So, and there's ways to speed up your cooldowns and everything else. So there's a ton going on in this game apart from just the exploration. The the world building has been phenomenal. The voice acting is great. I'm not going to talk to this NPC because there is a story tied to this, and I don't want to spoil it for people on in this video. This is where we just ended our last stream session, and then like there's that statue over there, which has something that we're trying to get into that statue, and there's things we have to do, and there's reasons we have to go in there, and then all of the different zones look completely different. So we're in a war-torn city right now, so it looks oppressive, and the demons are here, so it's bad. But then there's like the Lake District, which is just insanely beautiful, brightly lit, blue flowers everywhere. There's the marshes. There's the hills. Like we found, I don't even know, like 8 or 10 different regions now, and there's still. I think I'm about halfway through the game if I had to estimate based on what I can see of the map, and also knowing what I have left to do in terms of getting the keys to the Limbic Forge. Like I'm about halfway through the game, if I had to estimate at this point. Maybe if I just beelined through the main storyline, maybe there's a link. I don't know. I've heard people talk about between 25 and 50 hours of gameplay. I'm 20 hours in. I've only cleared about half the map, so I feel like I'm about halfway through. Loving it. I love it. Adjustable difficulty. You can have a really hardcore combat scenario if you want, or you can play it on story mode like what I'm doing, where the combat is. It's a lot easier. It's still challenging. I've still died quite a few times in areas where there are overwhelming amounts of mobs, and you're dealing with like rank 3 or rank 4, and they summon the demons, which do special attacks, and you're not paying attention because you're over here focusing these guys, and suddenly get hit from behind by a special attack. Like I've definitely had some deaths, but overall, the lack of a mini map and just needing to pay attention and explore. Like the puzzles have not been overly difficult. It's literally just been note taking. I mean, I've got copious amounts of notes where I'm just like writing down codes and like passphrases with numbers because those are going to be used for like a combo to a safe or something, and then like drawing symbols because we're going to need those for something else. Yeah, it's unique. I'm loving it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams are at 4:30 a.m. Central on YouTube and Twitch, and we're in the fall season right now, so we're also doing 4:30 p.m. Central as well, so 2 streams a day. So see you in the next one, everybody. Stay safe, happy gaming, and more Hell Is Us is on the way.